This thing is so official.
Maybe they're overcompensating. It's kind of hard to call everybody up out of the blue after 2 years.
I'm so glad you're here. We've got a lot to talk about. So much to celebrate tonight.
Hi, welcome to What the Flick. I'm Christy. This is Lonzo. This is Matt. We're going to review The Invitation, but we're going to try to tell you as little about it as possible besides go see it. So describe it, please.
All right, so The Invitation is about a guy and his girlfriend or wife, it's a little unclear, who gets an invitation to a dinner party hosted by his ex-wife and her new husband, who they haven't seen in 2 years because they've been in Mexico. And they get there, and there's a bunch of mutual friends, and then things get a little off. Let's watch a clip.
You've been acting so suspicious of our hospitality.
Well,
Jesus.
has he been like this a lot? So agitated? How has he been handling things? He can be self-destructive. I think he's doing the best he can.
Something doesn't feel safe here.
We don't see you for 2 years, and then all of a sudden, we get invited to this lavish dinner. Don't tell me that this is normal.
What do you think is happening, Will?
This beautiful moment is upon us. Tonight is the night our faith is made real.
What is happening?
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Wow.
Aren't you glad you saw it?
As soon as
I was pestering the shit out of him. Go see The Invitation.
So as soon as I finished watching it, I text you and I was like, holy shit, The Invitation.
Right?
So look, before we go any deeper into this, if you are on the fence about this movie, go see it.
Yeah.
Don't read a bunch of reviews. Don't watch some more clips.
Walk in as clean as
Right.
possible, knowing as little as possible,
But
because
even
that's
if-
the best way to enjoy it.
But even if you have the reveal, like the journey is still really
Yeah.
effective, right? Like this is not a movie that depends on twists and surprises. This is a slow burn.
Yeah.
It starts off relatively normal, and then it gets more and more tense as the movie goes on, and it starts to play. Does a really good job making you wonder whether or not your main point of view character is an unreliable narrator, so to speak.
Logan Marshall-Green.
Yes.
Tom
Hardy.
Very Tom Hardy-esque Logan Marshall-Green.
He
less
was in
dangerous Tom Hardy.
Prometheus.
He was also in Madame Bovary.
This movie is awesome. It's
so good. There is such a sense of mounting dread going on, where you walk into a situation that you're already sort of uncomfortable with, and then you maybe kind of get lulled into thinking like, oh no, fine, I should relax, and then they keep ratcheting up. It's directed by Karyn Kusama, who did Girlfight and Jennifer's Body
and Eon Flux.
Eon Flux.
This is a nice return for her.
And did you guys look up the writers of this movie? They wrote the ride-along movies.
What?
They wrote these guys have like the shittiest repertoire of movies up until now, but clearly this was the passion project in the drawer. This is the one they want to do because this one's great.
Than Ride Along.
They also did Ride Along too.
But we're not going to have The Invitation 2, I don't think.
They did some other ones. I forget what they were called, but I was looking at them like I couldn't believe they had written a lot of junk movies, which obviously writers don't always have final control, whatever. But this one, it's all about the writing. I mean, the writing actually plays a key role in it, and it is extraordinary. And I think it's also well cast in that there's not really a lot
familiar
faces here.
People you've seen here and there.
Yeah, Yahtzee Cornali was in Eva DuVernay's Middle of Nowhere. Right, yeah, and Tammy Blanchard you might know from Into the Woods or the Judy Garland
and the
miniseries.
new husband is on. I can't remember his name.
He's on Game of Thrones,
He's on Game of Thrones and Orphan Black.
He was in The Age of Adeline.
Right. Yes.
But people have seen here and there.
But there's not anyone that you look at and you say, that guy. They're not going to off that guy.
So anything can happen. You don't know
not to say that people get off.
Not necessarily. You don't know who to trust. You don't know where this thing's going to go, and it's so rare for us to get to, because we see 3-4 movies a week. you kind of develop a pattern after a while where you pretty much know what's going to be coming up. And so to be dropped into a movie, and this is one of the things I liked about Demolition, which we didn't get a chance to talk about, but where I had no idea what was going to happen next. That's thrilling.
And one of the things I liked about this in particular is you bring up the sense of dread, and the sense of dread that happens, it changes over the course of the movie what you are maybe supposed to be afraid of. Like at one point it's, are they afraid of talking about their past? Are they afraid that there's some weird like interpersonal sexual relationship thing happening? It's all over the place, and as the movie progresses, like the things to be afraid of get worse and worse. And it's great.
There's tension. Go ahead.
No, it's just some great misdirects too.
Yeah, no, there's tension from the very beginning on the drive up to the house.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's awkward, just in a awkward dinner party kind of way, which we can all relate to from the very beginning. But then, people start behaving oddly. There's a lack of filter and lack of, I don't know, impulse control that's really fascinating. Also, I love the way this movie is shot. We talked about this when we did Press Play together. It's shot in this really cool mid-century modern house in the Hollywood Hills. And it's shot in a really warm way, kind of muted way that at first seems kind of cozy and kind of inviting, and increasingly becomes claustrophobic and frightening.
Yeah.
And this house is so cool, and the discovery of different rooms in the house is so cool because it's this big, sprawling mid-century modern house in the hills. And the views at first seem very cool. Yeah.
And they too become foreboding.
Yeah. The last shot. Holy shit. The last shot is a doozy. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So beautifully acted and just perfect tone at all times. So I loved it. What are your numbers, friends?
8.
9.
What did I say? 9.
You said 9. You want
Yeah.
to stick with your 9?
Yeah.
Okay, so our average is an 8.7.
And it is in
Or is
the
it
90s
91?
on the tomato meter. It's absolutely worth seeing.
Totally.